Saint Irenaeus of the 2nd century is a much acclaimed Christian apologist. His monolithic book against heresies proclaims the truth of the Catholic Church while also refuting heretical errors put forth by dissenters from the faith. This book is all the more relevant today amidst the flood of Protestantism. To give you a taste of the tome, I will read a few quotes for you. The True Gnosis is the doctrine of the Apostles and the ancient organization of the Church throughout the whole world, and the manifestation of the body of Christ according to the succession of bishops, by which successions the bishops have handed down the Church, which is found everywhere, in the very complete tradition of the Scriptures, which have come down to us by being guarded against falsification, and which are received without addition or deletion, and reading without falsification, and a legitimate and diligent exposition according to the Scriptures, without danger and without blasphemy, in the pre-eminent gift of love, which is more precious than knowledge, more glorious than prophecy, and more honored than all the other charismatic gifts. But what consistency is there in those who hold that the bread over which thanks have been given is the body of their Lord, and the cup his blood, if they do not acknowledge that he is the Son of the Creator of the world, that is, his Word, through whom the wood bears fruit, and the fountains gush forth, and the earth gives first the blade, then the ear, then the full grain on the ear? How can they say that the flesh, which has been nourished by the body of the Lord, and by his blood, gives way to corruption and does not partake of life? Let them either change their opinion, or else stop offering the things mentioned. For thanksgiving is consistent with our opinion, and the Eucharist confirms our opinion. For we offer to him those things which are his, declaring in a fit manner the gift and the acceptance of flesh and spirit. For as the bread from the earth, receiving the invocation of God, is no longer common bread, but the Eucharist, consisting of two elements, earthly and heavenly, so also our bodies, when they receive the Eucharist, are no longer corruptible, but have the hope of resurrection into eternity. The preaching of the Church truly contains without change and is everywhere the same, and has the testimony of the prophets and the apostles and all their disciples. That in which we have faith is a firm system directed to the salvation of men, and since it has been received by the Church, we guard it. Constantly it has its youth, renewed by the Spirit of God, as if it were some precious deposit in an excellent vessel, and it causes the vessel containing it also has to be rejuvenated. In the Church, God has placed apostles, prophets, and doctors, and all the other means through which the Spirit works, in all of which none have any part who do not conform to the Church. On the contrary, they defraud themselves of life by their wicked opinion and most wretched behavior. For where the Church is, there is the Spirit of God, and where the Spirit of God, there the Church in every grace. The Spirit, however, is truth. When, therefore, we have such proofs, it is not necessary to seek among others the truth which is easily obtained from the Church. For the apostles, like a rich man in a bank, deposited with her most copiously everything which pertains to the truth, and everyone whosoever wishes draws from her the drink of life. For she is the entrance to life, while all the rest are thieves and robbers. That is why it is surely necessary to avoid them, while cherishing with the utmost diligence the things pertaining to the Church, and to lay hold of the tradition of truth. What then? If there should be a dispute over some kind of question, ought we not have recourse to the most ancient churches, in which the apostles were familiar, and draw from them what is clear and certain in regard to that question? What if the apostles had not in fact left writings to us? Would it not be necessary to follow the order of tradition, which was handed down to those to whom they entrusted the churches? But since it would be too long to enumerate in such a volume as this the successions of all the churches, we shall confound all those who, in whatever manner, whether through self-satisfaction or vainglory, or through blindness and wicked opinion, assemble other than where is proper, by pointing out here the successions of the bishops of the greatest and most ancient church known to all, founded and organized at Rome by the two most glorious apostles, Peter and Paul, that church which has the tradition and the faith which comes down to us after having been announced to men by the apostles. For with this church, because of its superior origin, all churches must agree, that is, all the faithful in the whole world. And it is in her that the faithful everywhere have maintained the apostolic tradition. It is possible, then, for everyone in every church who may wish to know the truth to contemplate the tradition of the apostles which has been made known throughout the whole world, and we are in a position to enumerate those who were instituted bishops by the apostles, and their successors to our own times, men who neither knew nor taught anything like these heretics rave about. For if the apostles had known hidden mysteries which they taught to the elite secretly, and apart from the rest, they would have handed them down especially to those very ones to whom they were committing the selfsame churches. For surely they wished all those, and their successors, to be perfect and without reproach, to whom they handed on their authority. It is necessary to obey those who are the presbyters in the church, those who, as we have shown, have succession from the apostles, those who have received, with the succession of the episcopate, the sure charism of truth, according to the good pleasure of the Father. But the rest, who have no part in the primitive succession, and assemble wheresoever they will, must be held in suspicion.